everybody. My name's Soma. I'm a family physician. I am also a human, which is really cool. And I want to share with you today some cool stuff about the topic of love. There is actually the possibility of dying from a broken heart, which is an interesting thing. There's actually a code for it now for physicians to use. But I want to share with you, because Valentine's Day is coming up, a life-changing thing that happened to me with my relationship with the whole topic of love. I'm hoping today to share with you a new perspective on the entire topic of love, because it can be sticky, it can be wonderful, it can be sad, it can be awful, but a new perspective on it is kind of a fun thing. And it absolutely changed my life. So I kind of want to share that with you. Now, an interesting thing that I had in my world, and I think a lot of people do, so you can ask yourself this question: do I have the awareness of in my life? Do I have the question, do I need love, or I need love? Is that part of your world? Because if it is a part of your world, if that question is duh, of course I need love, I am going to put it out there that means when I was thinking that way, when I thought I need love, that it showed a fundamental not understanding what love actually is. So I kind of want to rock people's world a little bit, because this rocked my world in such an amazing way. It was a little uncomfortable in the beginning, but it has absolutely changed the way I relate to people, the way I relate to myself. So let's get started. The first thing I want everybody to do is we're going to do a little bit of visualization. So I want you to visualize either a lake, so a big body of water. If you've been around lakes, you can imagine a lake. If you've been around the ocean, I want you to imagine the ocean. So we're all either standing on the shore of a lake, or we're all standing on the beach with the ocean out in front of us. And I want you to look at it. What part do we see? The part that we see is the top, right? Because we're standing on the shore. We're actually looking at the lake, and we're seeing the top of the lake, and we're standing on the beach, and we're seeing the waves and the top of the ocean. So I want you to visualize that and look at it. And then the next thing I want you to think about is, does the top of the lake or the surface of the ocean, is how big of a percentage is that of the entire body of water? So if we're looking at the surface of the lake, or we're looking at the surface of the ocean, is there something more than that? Is there something more to the lake? Does the lake have depth? Does the ocean have depth? Now, hopefully the answer to that is of course. Yes, it does. The ocean is very deep. Lakes can be very deep. They can also be shallow. But when we're looking at the surface of the body of water, we're only seeing a very small percentage of it. And what I'm going to propose out there is that our understanding of love, and certainly what popular culture talks about with love, and what we think about as love, is actually only the surface. So this belief that I need love, I need you to love me, I need love, is kind of like saying that the surface of the lake or the surface of the ocean is all there is, that's all there is, that it can change. Now, the surface of a lake can get very wild. If there's a big storm coming, there can actually be waves, and the ocean is always having waves going along it. So in order to get this new perspective on love, okay, romantic love, it comes and goes. He loves me not. She loves me not. All of those things are how we look at love, that it can go away and it can come back. And that's very similar to the surface of a lake. The surface of a lake can be very calm. That's when love is so wonderful. That's when love is wonderful. And when the ocean is very calm, that's the happy part of love. But when love gets gooey and sticky and no fun, that's when it's wavy and there's mud running around and that sort of thing, because that's all we're able to experience on the surface. So Okay, now we're going to take even a bigger perspective. I had a wonderful book. I don't know if any of you have ever read it, but I grew up with it, called Jonathan Livingston's Seagull. And it's a wonderful story about a seagull and how he finds himself. And he also learns about love in it too. So you should read that by Richard Bach. It's wonderful. Now we're going to all pretend that we're a seagull, okay? And the seagull is up flying above the lake or the ocean, and it's flying, and it's actually, we're going to have him flying above the ocean because that's where seagulls often are. And the seagull is looking down, and we're going to personify these waves. The waves on the ocean are individual people, okay? So there's waves on the ocean, and this seagull is looking down on the waves, and it can hear their thoughts. They can hear them talking about themselves. They can hear their thinking. So one wave is going along and it's looking at another wave. And this wave says, oh, the froth on that wave, it's so amazing. It's awesome. That wave, oh, its water is so beautiful. It's amazing. I so wish I could be that wave. I so wish I was worthy of the water that wave is made of. Okay, we're back to the seagull again. The seagull's listening to this wave talking to itself and wishing that it was worthy of water. Now, the seagull has a moment and says, what? Wait a second. How can a wave, what is a wave made out of? A wave is made out of water, okay? A wave is water. That's what it is. So the seagull just heard this wave say, I wish I was worthy of water. So let's take that a little bit further, because the seagull is looking down. It can see that wave that just asked if it could be worthy of water is actually made up of water. Okay. Now the new perspective on love is, let's pretend that water stands for love. Okay. This is a new broadened perspective of the concept of love. All right. So the little wave just wanted to be worthy of water. The seagull heard that and it said, I can't imagine. Hey, little wave, if it could talk to the wave, you are that. You are water. You can't be worthy of water. You can't have water taken away, because that's what you are. So this cool new perspective. And one of the ways of looking at this too is kind of redefining love. If we're going to redefine love, that it's not just the surface, okay? It's not just the surface, that it's the entirety of the water, that love actually isn't just the ups and downs, the calm and then the storm, that love is actually everything. And if we become more aware of the depth of the ocean, of the depth of love, we can maybe have a different experience of it. So a new way of maybe defining love, and just pretend, let's pretend this, that love equals total. Okay. What's total? That means everything, everything. It leaves nothing out. Total, unconditional. So what does unconditional mean? Unconditional means there aren't any conditions. There are no conditions. So total, unconditional acceptance. So total, unconditional acceptance of myself and others. Let's pretend that is an all-encompassing definition of what the experience of love can potentially be, if we're not so focused on the surface, on the changeable nature of the surface of the ocean. So love, play with this for a little bit, is total unconditional acceptance of myself and others, and see where that can take you. It absolutely changed my life when I understood the idea that I, as a wave, was part of something bigger. I was part of something much deeper, and we all are. And the whole trick is, can we learn about that? Can we look at our own water? Can we look at what we're actually made of and have an experience of that then flows out of us and makes our relationship so much deeper? and so much more rich and based in something that is unchangeable. The depths of the ocean are amazing. The depths of a lake are very different from the surface level. So, learning to maybe have a broadened experience, and there's different ways of doing this. I had learned a technique of meditation that absolutely helped me learn how to experience love at a completely different level. So I'm hoping that this is a new idea, a new perspective on the Valentine's Day that's coming up, and our whole idea that maybe our perspective on love is only the surface level, and maybe there's more. Maybe there's something more that the heart knows, that our brain doesn't know. Our brain is very familiar with the surface level and taking averages and looking at that. Our heart is extraordinarily familiar with the depths of love. So hopefully this has at least been some food for thought. And I would want to encourage you to learn some sort of technique, a meditation technique, a technique where you settle into yourself and get to look into the depths of what love can actually be. So I've really enjoyed talking about this. This was a concept that changed my life when I started putting it into practice on a daily basis. And I would love to answer any questions. I love talking about this and chatting about the different depths of possibilities of love. So hopefully this got you interested. I want everybody to have a wonderful Valentine's Day, and keep it up. Let's keep looking inside and seeing what we're really made out of. Take care, everybody.